teacups, what's brewing? Welcome back to the channel. We're doing a straight react today, which I don't do very often, and it's from the Salah and Chantal channel, which again is something I don't do that often. But I do like a good apartment tour, and she's shown us some of the improvements that Salah made, and I love to see it. So we're going to take a look at that today. My voice is a little bit out because I've woken up with a cough. I'm not at school, that shouldn't be allowed. But I'm hoping it sorts itself out. It might be the change in weather. We've had warnings for the past 2 days that we're going to get quite heavy rain. And a few minutes ago, there was a proper peal of thunder. I went and took my, my garbage out just in case. I was like, if it starts raining, it ain't stopping for a while. They're expecting it to last a few days. So it might just be that sticking in with me, but not enjoying it so far. And fingers crossed it doesn't go for too long. But if my voice is a little bit wobbly or I lose it suddenly, that's why. All right, so Ramadan ready Kuwait apartment tour. Let's get going. God, it has been so long since I've done this. When was the last time I did a straight react?
Karim, come on in. Welcome home, Habibi.
Okay, so we've got her living room. I can see his gaming chair. Didn't they used to have a table in the middle there? Do you think they've taken out just to give them a little bit more space? I mean, it's not a bad idea, but I wonder practically how they're working with that. Because often there is a table there, I think. We'll see. We'll let her go around.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. Guys, the Ramadan decorations, like she's got lights up, and I think that's why the lights are so dim right now, so that we can see that. They have got the most beautiful decorations available. I was in a store today, not even an expensive store, it was like Center Point. It's quite, easy, affordable kind of shop, but they have a bit of everything. They have like clothing and home and stuff like that. But some of just like the tea sets and the serving plates they have are beautiful, because a lot of the decoration is based around like the shape of a crescent moon or lanterns or stars, because the calendar is lunar. I'm gonna see, they were definitely playing copyright music, but I'll see if I can insert it with maybe some different music here. I took a few shots while I was out shopping today, but really, really pretty things they had. She seems to be going out of her way, and this is true in the rest of the video as well, to show us little details but not give us really wide shots, because I think she's still like, she's admitted that it's small, but she doesn't want to give a really clear look at how things are fit together. And I'm like, at this point, if you're doing a tour, do a tour, Like, it is small, and I've got some things to say about that, but if you're owning it, just own it. Just go around, say it's our apartment, we love it, we're done.
Alright, so among the upgrades, we added some pictures, some artwork on the wall here. This is a traditional home style from Damascus, Syria region.
This kind of artwork is really, really common. Whenever you go into sort of mid-range stores, they'll usually have pre-made artwork already framed. You can just pick it up, and this kind of stuff is super common. The style that you see in their apartment is found all over the Middle East, but the very thick, sturdy, wooden, sculpted furniture, that kind of stuff, it takes up a lot of space. A lot of the traditional styles are very bulky, but you see it everywhere.
My husband is Syrian, in case those of you who don't know. We have a new fancy clock. We have another painting with a nice scene.
That'll be another pre-made one. I'm not judging that, by the way, I'm just pointing out details.
Those of you who were wondering, we do have central air system here. It is very necessary to have air conditioning equate in the summer.
Some people were saying she didn't have it. I don't quite understand the difference between AC and central air. I thought they were the same thing, but I might be wrong. But there's no way you could manage to have an apartment with the two of them in and not have some kind of air conditioning.
We also added some lights for Ramadan, some decorations. It really makes a relaxing ambiance.
I have in my apartment, I feel like I've shown this, I have like a willow branch with little lights on it, and I really like how that looks. Like it does, if you haven't got other lights on, if you're just watching TV, it's a nice chill way to have something. I have it in the background of my my budget videos when I film the intro, you can see it there. It's a nice thing, and if they're enjoying this, then I'm glad they like it.
And this says, Subhanallah, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah, Wallahu Akbar.
This is obviously a prayer of some kind. I can understand a couple of words, but I'm surprised he didn't translate that for everyone. If you're adding details, like tell everyone what it means. Tell her what the relevance is. Is it a prayer you say in the morning? Is it a special prayer for Ramadan? They should explain it a little more.
Here we have this organization area. Actually, it's really convenient. We can put our wedding rings here, wallet, keys, change, phone, everything. It comes with a cup holder, really neat. And we have the gaming laptop here. And this is the...
When you look here, this is what I was saying the first time I said they should just get rid of that sofa. Now they've gotten rid of the table. I don't know, did they... Because she doesn't show, it's kind of hard to see. But the gaming table is blocking off that sofa halfway, you know? So you can't really get good use out of stuff. I would say just switch them. Either get rid of that sofa and get 2 occasional chairs, because you can get those built in a much lighter style, so they don't take up as much space, they're much more delicate. And maybe put them kind of offset in the area where the gaming table is. And then put the gaming table where the sofa is, but kind of slightly more centered, because at the end, when they're talking to us and just finishing off the video, you can see there's a socket. So they could run an extension cord, there'd be no reason they couldn't move. But one of the things I find with this apartment in general is you can work with a small space, no judgment on a small space. I do think they'd be comfortable with a bit more just because of how much stuff they've got in there, but you need to establish a flow in that space, and just wherever they've got stuff, it's cutting off other areas, and that's got to make it feel smaller. I think that might be the table they had. Do you see next to the gaming chair there, the table they did have in the middle has just been pushed to the side for the sake of the tour? I think that's the same one.
Whole gaming station.
With the shisha.
I really hate their carpet. Judgmental, personal choice, they can love it, and more fair play to them, but I don't like the pattern on that carpet.
And of course the Beezer signature scent, Rose Vanilla.
Was that candle from Bath & Body Works the inspiration?
Hello, come on back. First, this partition here, this curtain was put up, and it's actually really convenient because it allows extra privacy. So if Salah wants to have his friends over, his male friends, they can socialize in here, and I can do my thing in the kitchen or in the room. Also, if we order things, then we can just go like this, so I don't have to full hijab.
She can socialize with his male friends if he's there, but I guess maybe she just doesn't want to. Maybe she feels a bit awkward. From what I understood, he hadn't told many of the people where he was living. I guess Murad knows, so when she says male friends, that's probably it. But I actually like this curtain here. I think a partition was a good idea to kind of maintain separation, so not against it.
Come on back. So here we have our bathroom shoes together. And the bathroom is kind of the same, except we have the washer and dryer.
She's about to show the circuitry for this. It looks so dangerous. It looks so dangerous. I realize they've got limited space, but like The washer dryer is blocking the door. They can't open the door fully. And it's so dangerous to have that in there. I mean, we'll see in a minute.
Stacked here. We have a separate switch we have to turn on in order to activate the electric. The shower does not reach back there.
Look at that. I'm sorry, but really, I realize the shower isn't going directly on it, but it'd be very easy for that to get wet. And I'm glad they have a separate circuit for it. But still, I would not trust that. I wouldn't trust that at all. I certainly wouldn't want an open socket there. I'd at least get, you know when you're baby-proofing sockets and you can get those little plastic inserts so they don't stick their fingers in the socket? At least one of those. Because my goodness, that doesn't look trustworthy at all.
However, and this is a water filter. When you have a smaller space, you have to kind of stack things and make do with the space you have. So I think Salah did an amazing job.
I would agree with that. I think that you do have to, like, it's a point of make do. Chantal has always said that she doesn't have a great sense of style, and this is something that Salah did for her. So she didn't have much input in that sense. But I think they either need less stuff or more space. Quite frankly, you can do so much, but the choices they've made are not conducive to using the space well. Now, with like white goods, there's only so much you can do with them. But in a minute, you're going to see how they've extended the kitchen into the hallway and how their kitchen space is piled up. And this is a very personal thing to me. And obviously, I'm not living there, not really my business because they're the ones living with it. But when I have piles of things, I really struggle with that because it makes me feel overwhelmed instantly. This past week, when I was still at school, I had a rough week because it's the end of term, you always do. Well, end of term, end of this section of the term. And the first day I had a holiday, I just had to blitz my apartment because I had stuff piled on all the tables and it was just messy. And I had a lot of piles of clothes on my chair. And it makes it feel like the walls are encroaching. And especially when you've got a small space, I need it to be clearer because otherwise it's going to feel small.
Here we have a whole bunch of water because here in Kuwait you cannot drink the tap water. So we just have a lot of water because pretty much
I found that a little bit interesting because in Saudi and Oman you actually can drink the water, but it's a case of how comfortable you are drinking it, I suppose. My school actually has their own borehole, their own well, so I trust it a little bit more if I'm cooking or what have you, but I usually have a bottle or two in the fridge that I can drink from. But if I'm boiling it or cooking it, I just get it from the faucet, and I didn't realise in Kuwait you couldn't do that.
I drink a lot of water. I drink at least 2 of these a day. Here Salah had this electric installed. It's to operate the stove, and this is for the hot water tank. All right, now for my kitchen, guys. So when I was away, Salah got a new cooker, oven, stove, combination. I just put these on here to cover the...
Okay, this is where I struggle a little bit because I can see that they're struggling for space, absolutely. But I don't understand her choices here. I understand keeping the pot on the cooker. Okay, yeah, fine. The spice rack, I don't understand why you would buy such a bulky spice rack and then keep it on the cooker. It just looks like you don't have space to pile things. The bottles and stuff can go on the top where her plant is, but does she have shelves at the top of there? Because I'd be tempted to put some shelves in so you could keep it on there. But I saw, somebody on Twitter suggested this, but it makes absolute sense. Like, on the side of the fridge, if you've got to have the fridge there, why not have the magnetic ones and then it's completely out of your way? And I'm sorry, the fruit bowl's lovely and everything. I don't know if maybe the fruit bowl is usually on the table that they've taken out to do the tour, the one that's by the gaming chair now. But if you don't have space for a fruit bowl, stick it in your fridge and call it a day. Why are you piling these things up and having cloth on hot elements? Obviously they're not hot now. You'd have to be careful, but I don't know if she's just covered it up for the sake of the tour. But no, like this whole cooker top gives me anxiety. I'm like, oh, fire hazard.
the elements. Clean pot, but I keep it on the stove, just somewhere to store it. My spice rack, and I traded the candy for some fruit, mangoes and oranges. This is our full-size refrigerant.
She has got no room at all to open any of these things. If she's standing by the cooker, she can open the fridge, but she'd have to stand to the side to open the oven. Like, it's a very, very narrow space now. And again, if you're insisting on a full-size fridge, then yes, there's going to be limited space you can put it, but what do they really use that fridge for? Because they've said they eat out for most meals. She could have done with a smaller fridge here and it would have been fine. I would have maybe recommended saving the space there. Not that, who the hell am I? Why should they listen to me? But with how much they use the fridge or how much they cook from scratch, it doesn't seem like a worthwhile investment of space in the area. And this is what used to be their kitchen, right?
Here I have a bunch of kitchen items. I just stuck them all in here.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so I
set
have
shelves, what you're gonna do.
utensils, my chopper, my 3-in-1, and some popcorn, some grains and pastas and things, and some canned items down here. We have an old shisha there, and we have the garbage bin.
Right
This is
up
my
there.
sink. And the dishes, these are all clean. And I just have some food items up here, mostly tea, honey, my collagen, and my vitamins for my hair growth. A juice jug,
Well, this is what I was going to say. This seems a weird place to put vitamins. I mean, I suppose it's a kitchen, it's not that weird, but why not the bathroom? Is it because the bathroom's a wet room, you wouldn't be able to? Or maybe the bedroom, because that's where you would take them, I would think. But not a big deal. I don't mean to sound too nitpicky, but if space is limited, I wonder.
and some halwa, cutting board, and I
It's just
have
so
this rice
many
cooker.
piles
This
of
is clean.
things.
It's just stacked up here for, lack of where to put it. So, but the rice cooker, a serving tray, and this heats up shisha coals. And we have the air fryer, and we have the shisha supplies, the coals, and the flavor tobacco here. And here I have the microwave.
The microwave must just literally be down there because that's the space for it, but don't they usually tell you to keep the edges of the microwave open? Because they've got those vents on them usually.
Alright, and here is the bedroom.
Oh, it's private,
Just
guys.
have some clothes hanging up here. I put my abayas, my prayer gown. This is my new prayer gown, by the way. Hijab built in. Also, if you notice, this was in our living room before. We put this in the bedroom, and we got a new carpet. This carpet here. And here we have the
Not to my taste,
entertainment
but it doesn't
center.
need to be.
We have our router and our couples channel up, of course. Please feel free to subscribe and join if you so choose. We plan on doing a lot of positive content and traveling in the future, inshallah. We have a prayer rug here, and the abode of my chubby hamster, Howie, or Harry.
I realise this has been a big discussion point with a lot of people because of the animal abuse accusations and, well, with the cats, I mean, they're not even accusations anymore, are they? But it looks weird to have the cage here and then the playpen. I'm glad he's got more space, but the cage still seems really small. My next door neighbours in Saudi had a hamster. They had 2 cats and a hamster, so they had to be careful. But they built like a rabbit hutch, a massive rabbit hutch, and they put it in the side. There'd be no space for it here. But he literally just got some mesh and some wood and made one. So I've seen that size and it seemed a lot more appropriate than this. Like, it's full of wood shavings, so at least he can burrow, but that doesn't strike me as right, but I'm not necessarily an expert.
He is unfortunately sleeping. I will insert a little clip here of him earlier, if you like, when he was awake.
What are those things in there, like the cable things? What are they?
And this is our bed here. Very comfortable. We have a wardrobe. This is my mirror here, right?
What's that thing? Is it a seat? So you have the mirror, then you have the suitcase. What's in the middle there? Because my brain can't make sense of it. I was like, is it folded bedding? I don't know. I can't tell.
Get ready and have some things hanging from it. My travel items. My purse and CPAP under.
And again, it's just piles of things. I don't know how much organizing she could do to give herself a clearer space. Because that's really it for me. It's not that you've got things on there, it's that you just seem to be piling them at random. And that, like I said, would get quite overwhelming for me.
Here. And of course, the Quran, which I have been reading. This is translated, and
I'm glad she doesn't have anything on top of that. For anyone who doesn't know, if you have the Quran, if you have a holy book, you're not meant to stack it on anything. It's always meant to have nothing on top of it. So I'm glad she's done that.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying. I at least even try to read 1 page a day, especially in preparation for my first Ramadan. Alhamdulillah. And my makeup here.
What's that black thing at the back?
Magnets and this little plate.
Oh, you won't be able to see it. Where the spray bottle is, and the lipsticks and stuff, behind it there was a black thing. Was that a camera thing?
Of pins and things. If you're a hijabi, you will know what I mean.
Oh no, that's a terrible freeze frame. Sorry.
And I love here that this bed has this rest. You can put your glasses and earphones or
I'm glad she finds that useful. I tell you now, sirs and madams, I would smack my head on that at least once a day. There's no way. And I'd never learn. I'd fully admit, I'd know it was there, and every single time I would do it. So, God bless her.
whatever else on there.
Alright guys, that's the end of the tour. And for those people who celebrate Ramadan, I wish you a good health and peace.
This is actually going to be my first Ramadan, and I'm super excited to be celebrating it here in the Middle East with my husband.
And I will support you as much as I can, baby.
It's still cringe. It's still cringe. Like, when she's talking, she's obviously rehearsed, but it comes out naturally, because obviously it's not his first language and he has to think about it. But because he has to think about it, they've obviously decided what he's going to say first, and there's no connection, there's no feeling. And, we don't see what goes on behind the scenes. We don't see how he treats her when she's not there. But, oh my goodness, when they actually talk, I'm just like, no.
Wow, you're the sweetest. And I want to say about our apartment, I know it's small and we really make good use of the space and we love it. It's very cozy.
I'm glad they love it. Like, this is where they have to live. I mean, what else is she going to say? But I do think some of the small adjustments that I mentioned as we were going around would really make a difference to how big it felt. Like, you've seen it right now where they're sitting. The sofa is pushed out, so it's sticking out into the hallway. Now, into the hallway opening. Now, obviously they don't care because the hallway is quite full of stuff. But it's stuff like that that makes a space feel smaller because you're having to go around things. It's blocking off the flow. And so small adjustments, small rearrangements would make this feel bigger. But overall, I just think they have too much stuff and some of it is too big. It won't fit well in an apartment like this. And I wonder, I'm not apartment shaming them because I'm sure immediately I'll be accused of doing so. Like, I've had apartments that were on the smaller side because I travel as a single, and with 2 people in there, it's always going to be more of a challenge, for sure. Now, I got lucky this time and I was given a 2-bedroom. So this room that I film in is actually the 2nd bedroom, and I have like my built-in wardrobes here. But I wonder how much a little bit more in rent would make a difference so that they could both be really comfortable in the space and make it a bit more their own, because their possibilities of rearranging are so limited here. And I know they're in reasonably cheap housing, and if they're happy with it, that doesn't matter. You don't have to spend more money. But for the sake of, say, another $100 US, another 150, like, if they're on one hand saying, look, we got an iPhone Pro Max, whatever it was, for $1,700 pretty much on a whim, then they've obviously got enough money to be a little bit more flexible with their rent. Now, I don't know how much their rent is. I don't know how much rents run in Kuwait, because one thing about me and me working in the Middle East is that my apartment is always included, which means I don't get any choice in where I stay, but it's usually up to a certain standard, you know? So I don't know if they could maybe be a little bit happier in a space that's a little bit more flexible for them. Because with two of them in there now, they have upgraded. He was in a bachelor's and now they're in a one bed. So that is an upgrade for them. But what could a little bit more money buy them that they might be more comfortable in? I don't know. I don't have an answer. I'm just looking at possibilities here.
And it's all that we need for the two of us. Very easy to clean up, and I love the upgrades. When I came home from Canada and I was so tired, I came in and all of the hard work that Salah did, I just want to tell you how much I appreciate it, because I could tell you did it with love and to make it more comfortable for me here.
You deserve it, baby, and you're worth more than this.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love you.
If I were feeling petty, I would say yes, she is, and that's saying something.
I love you too.
Alright guys, so we hope you enjoyed sharing our home with us, and until the next video, we'll see you later.
We hope you enjoyed, guys. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. As-salam.
Masalama, bye.
And Ramadan Kareem.
Ramadan Kareem.
Okay, everyone, we're gonna leave it there. I would actually say, as far as content on their couples channel goes, I did actually enjoy that. I always like seeing in people's apartments. I like seeing how they look in other places. And like I said, I'd be interested in seeing a wider range of what your money gets in Kuwait. Now, I know like they've just moved into this one. It's unlikely they're going to move again, but it would have been nice. They moved quickly, obviously, but it would have been nice to maybe go on a bit more of a tour of, hey, these are the apartments we're looking at, so that we could have seen some of the choices and how they made the decision. I think that would have been good content. Now, with the kind of community she has, there would have been no way she could have done that, because doxed immediately. And if rumor is to be believed, they moved quickly because of the whole Allah situation. Now, we don't know how much of that is true. Obviously, we haven't heard much from Allah since they returned, so we don't really know what's happening there. But yeah, I would have been interested in seeing more of the options and kind of the price differences and stuff like that. I always find moving into a new area interesting, and that would have been nice content. But it is what it is, and I suppose we will see next time. So thank you everybody for watching. Lovely to be here, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.